All right.
I
This is
have,
the Barnstable Historical Commission for Tuesday, December 19th, 2023. The real-time access for applicants and everyone else is the link is https:// townofbarnstable.us/j/810-643-9736. We will start this with a call to order. Nancy Shoemaker,
Here.
Marilyn Fifield,
Here.
George Jessup, Cheryl Powell, Jack Kay, Barbara DiBiase. Barbara, I saw you on the screen. Where'd you go?
She's here. I see her.
Okay, maybe you unmute.
I'm here.
Thank you,
here.
Barbara.
You're welcome.
And Bob Frazee.
Here.
Thank you. Okay, so that's our quorum. We needed this many and we've got it. So that's good. We can move ahead. This meeting is being recorded and broadcast on Xfinity Channel 8 or High Def Channel 1072. In accordance with MGL Chapter 30A, subsection 20, I must inquire whether anyone is taping this meeting other than the town. I see no one. So, acting on the provisions of the Code of the Town of Barnstable, subsection 112-1 through 112-7, the Historical Commission will hold a public hearing on the following applications. These applications have been determined significant and will refer to a public hearing. There are no continued applications, so we will move on to Michael O'Sullivan, 110 Irving Avenue, Hyannisport, map 287, parcel 130, built 1880. Who's here to speak to that?
I am Craig Ashworth.
Hey, Craig.
How are
Okay,
you?
go for it.
Good. All right. Well, let's see. Something just disappeared here, but I'm back to the page. What we're seeking to do is add a widow's walk to this house. The house has previously been reviewed, and we are at the point right now where we would very much like to get this on and get tight for the winter so we can have Mr. O'Sullivan in the summer. Are there any questions?
Okay, that's it. So let's move on and see if there's anyone from the public here to speak to this, a neighbor or whatever.
Chair, this is Erica Brown. I don't see anyone wishing to speak to this item at this time.
Okay, thank you, Erica. Okay, commissioners, do you have any questions, any discussion on this?
Could we go back to that exhibit, please?
Let's look at a picture of the building too, as it currently stands. That's it. Thank you. Nice little hip roofed.
It's a really neat house. We are surrounded by widow's walks in the neighborhood for good reason. They have wonderful views of St. Andrews and down to the beach and all of that. And we're working with all the existing elements that we can. And
It's definitely an adorable little house. I'm not sure that a widow's walk is appropriate. But I would like other commissioners to share their thoughts.
Nancy Shoemaker here. My first thought is if it's just a demo of the roof, I don't see a problem with it. But could we see the next picture, number 5? Well, that's the next one, but number 5. All right.
It's funny, it looks well placed from the front and the back, and it looks strange from the sides, from the east and the west.
Well, what we're doing there, if I may answer, is we're preserving the relative location of the existing chimney.
Yes,
being
no, I see
restored.
what you're doing. Yeah, I agree that it's necessary for the chimney.
It
Have to make
also,
this-
yeah, it also kind of pushes it down into the roof, so it isn't quite so proud. The back is not really visible, except there is a glimpse of it coming down the road. Great nav, but it's in between two houses. You get a little visual on it. But I think it works out for the framing, and we're working with a house here that it's quite elderly.
Yeah, it has such nice clean lines. I just, I don't think it adds to the house. But I'm certainly willing to listen to the other commissioners. Did you have any, who is that?
Barbara,
But it's Barbara. I have a question. Are there stairs from the outside going to this widow's walk?
No, interior.
Interior stairs.
Yeah,
Interior.
okay, anybody else?
Nancy, Bob Frazee.
Yes.
The only thing that I would say is I have to agree that these devices for viewing from the rooftops are pretty common in Hyannisport. And I think the only kinds of critiques to have about something like this with this kind of building is whether it's appropriately to scale with the structure. And I kind of think it is. I don't see any problem with that.
Okay.
I don't feel like the Widow's Walk is the thing you're going to see when you look at the house. That would be a little scary if it were, but I don't believe that would be the case.
Hmm.
That's my own feeling.
Okay, good enough. Does anybody else, I guess it's only Marilyn, did you have anything about it that you'd like to comment?
No, thanks. I think it's fine.
Okay, let's go on to close the public hearing. I need somebody to make a motion and somebody to second it.
I'll motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second it.
Okay,
Shoemaker.
okay, so we've got the motion and the second. We're voting to close the public part of the hearing. So I have to do that by a roll call. Nancy Shoemaker,
Aye.
Marilyn Fifield,
Aye.
George is not here, Cheryl's not here, Barbara DiBiase,
Aye.
and Bob Frazee.
Aye.
And I will abstain. No, not from this, I won't abstain. From this, I also will vote yes. Forgot where we were on the motions. Okay, time to move to the other formal motions, which have so much verbiage that they're very difficult.
I'll
Okay.
be happy to do them. Nancy
Thank
Shoemaker.
you.
This is pertaining to home owned by Michael O'Sullivan, 110 Irving Avenue, Hyannisport, map 287, parcel 128, built 1880. Partial demolition, modification to original filing, construct new widow walk per plan, widow walk to have baluster/rail to match others, and cedar shingle cheek walls. Motion number one, I move that after review and consideration of public testimony, the application and associated materials, the significant building at 110 Irving Avenue, Hyannisport is a preferably preserved significant building.
I need a second.
Second.
Second. Sorry.
Okay, Marilyn seconds, thank you. An aye vote imposes an 18-month delay. A nay vote does not impose that delay. Nancy Shoemaker,
Nay.
Marilyn Fifield,
Nay.
Barbara DiBiase,
Nay.
and Bob Frazee.
Nay.
And I will also vote nay, I guess. Okay,
All right, I move that in accordance with section 112-3F, the Barnstable Historical Commission determines that the partial demolition of the building located at 110 Irving Avenue, Hyannisport is not detrimental to the historical, cultural, and architectural heritage or resources of the town.
I'll second
And you
that.
sec, okay, thank you, Barbara.
Mhm.
An I vote determines that the partial demo is not detrimental and no demolition delay would be imposed. Nancy Shoemaker,
Aye.
Marilyn Fifield,
Aye.
Barbara DiBiase,
Aye.
Rob Frazee,
Aye.
and I will abstain from that one. Okay, moving along. You got your, you will be allowed to proceed, Craig.
Thank
Yeah,
you very much.
Paperwork's to come. See you next time.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you all. Happy holidays, everybody. Thank you much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Same to you.
Bye.
Okay, the next one is Christina Mireles. I hope I'm not pronouncing that too badly.
No,
202 Annabelle. Did
you
I
did
say,
great.
where are
You
you?
did great.
Say it again.
You did great.
Oh, okay. Thanks. 202 Annabelle Point Road, Centerville, map 211, parcel 012, built in 1940. Okay, are you the one who's going to be speaking to it?
I can speak. The contractor is also online, but I can do the speaking since I'm more familiar, since I designed the proposed work. So,
Okay,
should I go ahead?
walk us through your project.
Okay. So the project, oh, can I do this? Oh, okay. So hold on. Next, I guess it would be next page.
Christina, I'm having trouble hearing you. Can you speak a little louder?
Sure.
Or
Can you
closer?
hear me now?
Oh,
Can
there
hear
you
me
go.
now?
That's much better. Thank you.
Okay. So you see that the front of the house with the solar panels in that first part, that is actually this area here is actually the original house. This part here, which consists of 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, was actually built sometime later. The original house, this part here, was built in 1940, and this is what I want to keep from the original house. I want to demolish this part here and build. So this part here I'm going to keep. This door, okay, the previous door on the side of the house. This one was also an afterthought somewhere much later. The original doors of the house are the front and the back door if you move to the next picture. Here. That is also an original door. So I want to take this out and build 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and that, you know, increase it, do an addition and build 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms on that part. I also want to, remove both small entrances, the decks, and build a bigger deck on the back so I have, so I can walk out and enjoy my backyard. So this is the original, but for me, it's really important to keep the lines of the house. So as instead of keeping, by creating the addition, my roof line would be so flat. And so I wanted to keep the same pitch as the bedroom of the existing structure, which increases the size of the height. And that up there is just going to be a storage loft. What else did I say? So demo the 2 bedrooms and the 1 bathroom. Demo the south elevation landing, the east elevation landing. That's gonna, if I demolish that part of the bedroom, of the bedrooms, that means part of the basement needs to be removed so they can do a new foundation. The roof will be all the same materials to match. The old existing structure is gonna be board and bat and white, which is typical from the period. And the new part is gonna be cedar, is gonna be natural cedar. And there's gonna be a walkway entrance on the side to the basement.
Okay, are you through telling us?
Yes, yeah, so that's basic, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm trying to create more living space because my bedrooms can barely fit a full-size bed inside. And my bathroom, I can barely move inside. And so I want to create, since this is gonna be my legacy for my son, I wanted to create 2 full bedrooms with full bathrooms in this structure. So for that, I needed to increase the size, but if I wanted to keep the lines of the roof, I would gain, I had to increase the height, which gives me storage because it's so small. The house is so tiny. And in the existing structure, which I won't touch, it's all just going to be cosmetic inside with the open ceiling, which was originally what they had here. I'm going to have a kitchen. It's a kitchen and living room, one space.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone here from the public to speak to this? Any neighbors that have a comment?
Chair, this is Erica Brown. I do not see anyone from the public wishing to make comment at this time.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I would like to ask if the commissioners have anything to say about this, any observations or things that they think are appropriate or not so. And Nancy?
I just want some clarification. So the 1940 portion of the house, the front of that will remain. That is remaining, correct?
Yes, I'm just going to have more windows because the house, this area of the house where I am right now, is very dark.
And then you're taking off that smaller section from later years.
From
to
later years.
left. And then you're putting on an addition to the back only.
Yeah, that's all I'm adding to the original structure. It's
So when
that.
we see the front of the house, what the changes will be was the small addition to the left, and we will be seeing a fairly prominent roof to the back.
Very prominent. It kind of overwhelms.
Correct. But I tried to make sure that in doing so, I wanted to keep the lines, because if I flatten if I make the roof lower at the same height as the existing structure, the way it's now, because of the extension to accommodate the 2 bedrooms, what's going to happen, I'm going to end up with a roof that's very, very flat. And that's going to be something that is not typical of the other houses that are around me here. They all have the same pitch. And that's why I wanted to keep the pitch. But in order to keep the pitch, I have to gain height because of the fact that I'm extending the house further to the side of the lot. So the further out I go, the flatter the roof gets. So I had to increase the size and the design to keep the lines of the architectural lines of the structure that's there right now. And I have 2 neighbors, my 2 neighbors down the street from me. They both have very prominent structures right in the front of the street.
The windows that you're changing in the older section, of the
Mhm.
house. Am I correct that you're going from small windows to very large ones?
I'm going to large because I have very little light that comes in here. I don't get light from that side of the the house, and there's a preserve across the street, so the sun gets blocked by the trees, and I don't get any light there. So I mean, one of the things I did was I just put this little light towards my face so you guys can see how dark it is inside my living room. It's very dark in here all the time because I don't get light there. And if I just replace the windows with new windows of the same size, I would still get very little light in here. And that's why I try to increase it so I can get more light.
It's quite a change for a house from the 1940s, however.
Could we see the pictures again, Erica, of the front of the house? What is proposed and what's there? So that's the front. Mm.
I mean, the one
Got a
thing,
wall of glass.
yeah, the one thing that doesn't show here are the grills. The architect didn't put the grills on those windows.
Okay. So what I asked, it is that portion that was to the left of the existing 1940 house is being demolished and being replaced. It's not coming off the back of the house. It's going to be to the side of the house.
It's going to be placed in it. The addition is going to replace the old part where the bedrooms are located.
Yeah,
That part right there. Yeah, it's going to replace that.
I hate to, I can see how the 1940 part of the house with the, you know, have two different sized windows over to the right, but, and they'd be larger, but why, you're removing the whole door?
Mm-hmm.
That door is not even tight. I have a storm door in front. I mean, the door was replaced sometime a long time ago, and they put a storm door, and I gotta tell you, the house is so out of square because it didn't even have insulation at one point, that, you know, if I have to remove it, then I might as well put another door and put more windows so I can have more light.
I just would like to see on that part of the house that's facing the road, have a door.
Yeah, this is the door right here. This is a door right here.
Oh, it's just part of the sliding glass.
No,
it-
it's not sliding. It's gonna be a door
Well-
with period light.
It's going to be a large pane of glass, correct?
This is not glass. This is a door. This is a solid door. This
Number
is glass with grills. This is glass with grills. This is glass with grills. This is glass with grills. And this is glass with grills. They're all going to look like this, but longer. They go all the way to the floor so I can have more light inside the house. And this here is a solid door that opens in just like any door, any regular front door.
Yeah, it probably should have been drawn as that. It looks,
I don't know why the architect didn't translate that as a regular door, but this is a regular wood exterior door, which I'm gonna get to match the period of the house. Because right now, what I have is a mission style, which is not even from the period. It has nothing to do stylistically with the 1940 house. And it was what was on the house when I bought it.
Erica, is it possible for you to do split screen or something to show us the way the house is now and the way it is going to be?
Give me a second.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was giving you a difficult chore. I just want to see the impact, share the impact with the public of the changes that are promoted or proposed, I mean.
Maybe other comments can be made by board members?
I have just
Yes,
one.
Bob,
So I haven't driven by, but I'm familiar with the area, and I did sort of the Google Earth thing and zoomed in on the neighborhood a little bit. In terms of scale, I mean, that's the biggest change for this house. I think that's being proposed is it's going from a very small building to a somewhat larger one, which I understand from functionality, it probably needs to from the owner's perspective, and I fully, oh, there we go, fully respect that. I go back to personally looking at houses like this and wondering if the 1940 original has anything other than its existence, which is very real, and its personality inside, which we maybe can't tell too much about, an awful lot to say for itself in terms of its urgency to be preserved. And I think that's one of our most critical concerns as we look at and review buildings. And to me, the biggest change is the change of magnitude, the change of size. And the one thing that I think is relatively special, if you will, about this house is its diminutive size, which is relative to its origins of 1940 as a small cottage in a mostly then summer community. I'm looking at the neighborhood, though, this is a very rare building that hasn't been enlarged already. Her neighbors have much larger homes to begin with and have second stories. And, you know, it will not be as changed as proposed. It will not be out of scale or out of keeping with the neighborhood. So really, I kind of feel like our focus needs to be on whether the 1940 building is one that requires, you know, regulatory attention. I guess that's my feeling. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think that's the question. Did I confuse you all or help? No.
that certainly is a valid question. But it also is important to me that a lot of the buildings around started as camps. They started as little cottages. And this, with this wall of windows and the outside treatment changes, the board and batten treatment changes so much the look of this building, which I think is rather precious the way it is. But I understand the need to have more room. Certainly. I'm very concerned that not only is the size of the construction going to overwhelm the original, but that the original isn't being preserved. I'm just very disturbed by that, all the glass wall.
One of the things that I would like to mention is I had chosen the board and bat because the siding that's on the house right now is vinyl, and it doesn't even resemble its original siding, which is shingle. And I wanted to use something that wouldn't degrade over time and is still within the stylistic, it's still within the period of the 1940s. This house has in different areas, in peeking under the vinyl siding, which is falling apart, there are areas that have horizontal, which is not even a shiplap, horizontal boards. It has shingles. It has a mishmash of things that were done during the time it was a camp. And I'd like to point out also that these two windows on each side of the front door are not original windows. They were put in place at some point by the previous owner, who didn't even pull a permit for it, because I checked. And those windows were not there originally. The same way that the side door into the kitchen was not part of the original camp originally. Neither was the little deck to access it. The only things that are original to the 1940 structure is the window on the far, if you're looking at the picture, the window on the far right and the window in the bedroom in the structure that's supposed to be demolished.
Okay.
On the very opposite, in the backyard, facing the backyard, there's 2 original windows and a door, which is original to the house in the 1940s, which is falling apart. And I have to replace it sooner rather than later because it's falling apart. So
Okay.
that's what's original to the house, and not even that the vinyl that's there now is covering what was existing. And there's a mishmash of stuff underneath. Anyway.
Okay, thank you. All right, I think we may be ready for a vote. Do any other commissioners have a comment? I think, Marilyn, do you have anything to say? I'm not hearing Marilyn. Is she speaking?
I'm sorry, I was muted. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I would only say the original part of the house does remain there. It's just that it doesn't look the same because the windows are changed in the door. And I personally like the board and batten siding. It's a traditional form, I guess I would think, even if it's not the usual thing that we might see here. So anyway, it doesn't bother me, I guess, overall. Thank you.
Okay. Good enough. Thank you. And Barbara, did you have anything to say?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you, everybody. All right, I would like to close the public hearing. Yes, Nancy.
Again, just the windows looking like a 1960s modernist design. That's the only thing that bothers me. There's suddenly 2 more windows on that tiny wall, and it sure would be nice to see them separated. And Cheryl's here, by the way. She might have something to add.
Oh, she is here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I've been here since the beginning of this application.
Oh.
I had, in all fairness, I called Nancy and said I probably wouldn't be able to make it because my schedule had changed. No, I don't have anything to comment. It looks like an interesting proposal.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'm ready for a motion. I'm sorry, Cheryl, I didn't know you had joined us.
Not a problem. I came in a little bit late. You were busy with other things.
Okay, so I need a motion to close the public hearing.
I will make that motion to close public hearing.
Okay, I need a second. Thank you,
Second.
Bob. Okay, all those in favor of closing the public hearing? Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, another roll call vote. Marilyn, I'll start with you.
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Barbara,
Aye.
Nancy,
Aye.
Cheryl,
I say aye.
and I would also say aye. Okay, now it's time for the motions. These wonderful verbiage.
I can do it if you want.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, this is Christina Morels, is it Morales?
Morales, yes.
At 202 Annabelle Point Road, Centerville, map 211, parcel 012, built 1940, partial demolition, demo 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, south elevation landing, east elevation landing, and small portion of basement slab and wall. Construct addition with exterior and interior access to the basement, construct deck and outdoor showers. And I have to add that it does not say anything about demolishing the front windows and door of the front of the house.
It does not. I think you'd better add that into the motion.
Is that what, Christina? Yes?
Yes,
You
yes,
have to, well,
yes.
now let me see, what does the, Erica, what does the request, the Form
Application.
B say?
The NOI states demo the 2 bedrooms and the bathroom, demo the south elevation landing, demo the east elevation landing, demo a small portion of basement slab and wall to accommodate addition.
Okay, there's nothing there about the windows.
Yeah, I didn't realize that I've never done this before, so I didn't realize that I had to write that I was removing those windows and put new windows.
Mm.
So I can append the request if you want me to. I just didn't know. I'm a home. I've never done this before in terms of, the verbiage. I thought that just by submitting the plans and showing what I wanted to do, that would be sufficient. But, if you need.
It's interesting because with the plan with the motion as stated, I wouldn't have a whole lot of trouble supporting it. But with the motion, with the windows addition, so that they take up a whole wall of windows, I do have it. I can't vote for it. But, so I need some advice as to what is legally we should be doing here. Normally, if the form is not filled out correctly, or, we have this, you'd have to have a second hearing, I would think, but I'm not sure. Nancy?
I was going to make a suggestion that we vote on these items and the front of the house has to remain the same. And then Christina, you come in with a second application. Just a suggestion. I don't know if that's correct or not.
I think that's one way of handling it. This is Cheryl. The other would be to make an amendment, but it sounds like to just add it to the motion might have some difficulty at this time, might be some more time. I agree with Nancy. It might be an idea to vote on these if the applicant's okay with it, and then see if the applicant would be willing to come back with the remaining part of it.
You could do it that way. Sorry, this is Erica Brown. Or you could request to continue the item and have the amended application. If you so desire, it can be asked to be re-advertised at that point as well, or and then get updated plans, especially I know some of you had made comment towards the door and the grills on the windows, and those could be updated on the new plans.
That sounds like, I stand corrected on that. Shall we ask the applicant if she'd be willing to do that?
Christina, or is that something that you're willing to? We would continue it till next month. That way we wouldn't.
So we would continue this. You Would you vote on the items that are here on this application and then just continue
There's
it?
one, that's one way to do it. We could either vote on it as stated currently, but the plans would still have to be updated because
Okay.
we're not accepting the windows because the windows were not part of the application. But
Okay.
if we continue the hearing
Uh-huh,
and you bring it back next month,
uh-huh.
considering the comments you've heard, you
Mhm.
might want to change, have the architect draw a different way of handling the older part of the house as
Okay.
far as the windows. Then you
Uh,
would just have to be able to come back next month and we would deal with the reviewed plans. Erica?
This is Erica Brown. So what we're saying is either we can vote on the items now that's presented in the application, but you would have to come back with a separate application. So you'd have to file another application, have abutters be notified and be advertised. If you so chose to take that route to have a vote today. But if you choose to continue the item, we could just re-advertise for it, have abutters re-notified, but then you wouldn't have to file another application. We can amend the one that is sitting currently and just update the plans.
Thank you, Erica. That's what I wanted to say. Took the words right out of my mouth.
So it's one or the other.
You could have a vote today and could therefore start to work on construction of everything but that wall, correct, Erica?
Mhm.
Yes, that is correct.
which
So
route-
if you choose to do that way, if you vote today, it would then have to be, like I said, another application filed
That's
and then
fine.
abutters and re-advertise if that's how you'd like to go about it.
Yeah, I'll submit a brand new application just for the window portion in front of the house.
So yes, it sounds like the applicant would like to go ahead with a vote excluding the windows and the door, that front elevation of the existing home, and she'll submit a new application for that.
Okay, and you understand that that part of the house would have to be left alone
Yes.
until it had been voted on. Okay,
Yes.
all right,
So I
good.
think I've
Then-
lost track. I think I've lost track. I know Nancy made it. I think you made the motion, but did we actually get a second?
I
We-
started
We
it. No,
stopped. We didn't make it all the
motion.
way.
Yeah, I
That's
didn't.
what I thought. Okay.
So I need to say motion one. I move that after review and consideration of public testimony, the application and associated materials, the significant building at 202 Annabelle Point Road, Centerville, is a preferably preserved significant building.
I need a second.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Okay, an I vote imposes an 18-month delay. A nay vote would not impose that delay. Okay, and just to be clear to the entire commission, we are voting on what is stated at the top, not what is going to be done with the fenestration and doorway of the older part of the house. Okay, so roll call. Nancy Shoemaker,
Nay.
Marilyn Fifield,
Nay.
Cheryl Powell,
Abstain.
okay, and Barbara DiBiase. I think I didn't hear you.
I'm sorry. Nay.
Okay, thanks. And Bob Frazee.
Can I just ask a question before I vote? And that is, since I'm the sort of the extra on the planet here and we have a full commission, do I still qualify to vote for this?
You got a good point. I guess not.
So yes,
oh,
you
no.
can vote. We don't have a full commit, like we have a quorum, but we don't have a
But-
full
but we
commission,
don't
so
have
you
the
could
full-
be
okay.
voting in lieu of
Okay.
Jack or George who are absent.
Or George.
Fine. Just don't want to get anybody in trouble.
Okay,
Nay.
thank you. Okay, next motion.
And you voted
Sorry,
nay.
point of order, Nancy Clark, you did not vote.
Oh, day, sorry. You're right. I didn't
I-
put my own vote in.
I move that
Okay.
in accordance with section 112-3F, the Barnstable Historical Commission determines that the partial demolition of the building located at 202 Annabelle Point Road, Centerville, is not detrimental to the historical, cultural, and architectural heritage or resources of the town.
I need a second.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Barbara.
You're
And
welcome.
I vote determines that the partial demolition of the single-family structure is not detrimental and no demo delay will be imposed. Nancy Shoemaker,
Aye.
Marilyn Fifield,
Aye.
Cheryl Powell,
Abstain. I abstained from the
Uh,
first, so I feel
yeah,
I should
okay, you
abstain from
abstained,
the
okay.
second. Yeah.
Barbara DiBiase,
Aye.
Bob Frazee,
Aye.
and I'll also vote aye. So with what's been stated, you can go ahead, but not with the original part of the house.
And
Okay, we're gonna move on.
can I just say, Christina, think about maybe not having the windows look so much like a bank of windows, a little space between them, maybe even bring them up a foot from the bottom of them now, and we might be a little more understanding. So just a
And
thought.
and consider putting in some those little things in between so that we've got a grill.
Okay, okay, that's fine.
Okay, thank you, Christina.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, our last one is Carrie and Elizabeth McNamara,
I have to
169. Excuse
have
me?
tell you that I'm going to have to go to another meeting at 4. So should I
Okay.
start with this or should I leave now? Erica, should
Uh, I think you better go.
Okay.
Nancy, yeah, I would suggest going ahead and leaving since you won't have really too much time.
All right.
And we do have a quorum now, so you're set. Thank you.
You. Bye-bye.
Happy
Bye.
holidays, Nancy.
Okay, Carrie and Elizabeth McNamara, 169 Pond Street, Osterville, map 118, parcel 036, built in 1932. A partial demolition, remove the second floor and reconstruct the second floor with attached 2-car garage with living space above the garage. Materials for roof siding and windows will match what is existing. And who is here to speak to that, please?
Kerry McNamara.
Okay, hi, Carrie.
Hi.
All right. And will you be speaking to this alone?
My wife is here also.
Oh, well, that's fine too. Sometimes people bring in a lawyer or an architect. That's all I was asking.
No, we can speak for ourselves.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, this is the wrong house. This is
Yeah.
the former. There we go. Thank you. Okay, tell us what you're gonna do, sir.
Okay, well, we presently live across the street in my son's house, and we like this neighborhood a lot. We've lived in Barnstable for 35 years. This house is barely 1,000 square feet, and we have 4 children. Well, they're grown, 4 children and 5 grandchildren, and it just isn't big enough even for the 2 of us. So we were gonna we wanted to add a second floor. And we're getting up there in age, and over the garage, we were looking to have a little area for either one of my children to come or maybe us to, if we're there in a few more years. So this area where we live is has quite a few houses that have done similar types of work, and we got a plan that we think will fit very nicely in the neighborhood. We do have one of the larger lots in the neighborhood, and that's it.
Okay, so you're basically taking a very small house and making it a very large house.
Well, we're doubling the footprint, but we're going from 1,000 to 2,700 square feet. That's what
Yeah.
we're,
My question to Erica is, when the space increases by that amount, don't we automatically have to refer it to the Cape Cod Commission?
Chair, this is Erica Brown. I believe it's when they're demoing more than 50% of the original structure. Which
Well, this doubles it. It
it
more than
doubles it in
doubles.
size, but I don't know if it demolishes 50% of the structure or not. Maybe Carrie
The
could.
square footage,
This, so
so
I don't.
Carrie, do you have the square footage of both buildings?
yes, what's there now and what's proposed? Is
Yeah,
that your- Yes, the square footage proposed is 2,775, and what's there now is 1,175.
that answers your question. It doubles it. Certainly it's more than 50%.
It doubles it. Give me one moment. I know that because so far since I've been here, excuse me for my lack of knowledge on this. Since I've been here, we haven't had a referral to the Cape Cod Commission. Let me just see if I can get in touch with Elizabeth real quick.
Okay. As I recall, that's what we are stuck doing. But I think we need to have an opinion.
Marilyn here. May I ask a question?
Certainly, Marilyn.
This house is not on the National Register or in the National Register district, right?
That's correct.
That could be significant too.
Yes, it could. I totally agree.
Honestly, that's what I was just thinking about too, Nancy, is I think in order to trigger that referral, it needs to have a higher standard of qualification as a building, but I'm not positive.
Yeah,
I
don't
think
know.
that may be, but I'm not positive either.
Got it.
Erica? You're on silent, sweetheart. Take off your mute.
There we go.
Thank you.
Sorry. Unfortunately, I did not get in touch with Elizabeth. Let me just double check something real quick.
You know, since I totally agree with both Marilyn and Rob. It's not a National Register building and it's not in a district, but I don't know whether that is actually a qualifier. And that's why I'm asking for an opinion.
I'm wanting to believe it is, but I really don't know for a fact, and I don't want to mislead anybody.
No, I don't either. I certainly don't want to put anybody through it if they don't have to.
Exactly.
Excuse me.
Well, can I ask a question while we're waiting?
Certainly.
Would that not be the building department to say that,
No.
or? No?
No,
Oh, okay.
it's historic.
It is, okay.
But what you would be doing is going to their historic person, Sarah Korjeff, who's perfectly delightful to work with. But it certainly lengthens what you have to go through.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't want to say, oh yeah, go ahead and do this, and then have somebody come and say, no, he cannot, you know,
Right.
or vice versa.
Okay, so From what I found on the Cape Cod Commission's website, actually, very quick search. So it is any demolition or reconstruction of the original or primary historic building mass, large scale renovation projects, additions to primary building facades, additions or new construction which are highly visible and dramatically different from the historic property, relocation of a historic building, removal or alteration of defining landforms. The following alterations should not be considered for a substantial alteration. One of them does state that it should not, if it is a change or alteration of properties that are not contributing structures in a historic district, which this is not. So this should not be referred. It's not a contributing structure.
Okay, so it only works for contributing structures
Contributing
And,
structures or structures on the National
on
Register.
Nice, right, okay.
That sounds
Okay,
right to me
good.
too.
So that's good. Okay, then I would like to ask commissioners if they have any. Well, first, is there anybody here to comment on the McNamara's project?
Chair, this is Erica Brown. There is nobody from the public wishing to speak to this at this time.
Thank you. Okay, commissioners, your questions, your comments?
May I see the plans again, please?
Okay.
So where is the original structure?
It's the one on the left where the Gambrella, that's the
Okay.
original.
And show us again the structure as it is. Okay. Okay, thank you. You're showing us that the structure is very small at the current time. And when was this built again?
1932.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
In between the wars.
Yeah.
In the height of the Depression, in fact.
Yeah, that's a
Indeed,
good point.
it's reminding me of the buildings that used to stand on Otis.
Well, we weren't around then, so.
Excuse me.
Mhm. Okay, commissioners, Barbara, did you have something to say?
No, I just wanted to, in my mind, place the original house in this diagram.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anybody else? I can't see you, so if you're raising your hand, I can't see it. I don't see anybody else wanting to comment. Okay, I would like to have somebody move that the hearing be closed.
Also move.
Thank you.
Second that.
Okay, thank
Second
you,
it.
Bob. Okay. And we get to do the roll call again. Nancy Shoemaker is no longer here. Marilyn Fifield,
Aye.
Cheryl Powell,
Aye.
Barbara DiBiase,
Aye.
Rob Frazee,
Aye.
and I also vote aye. Okay, now we're ready for the formal motions. Barbara, it's your turn.
Okay.
Did you say Robert or Barbara? I hope you said Barbara.
I did say Barbara.
Um, This motion is for Carrie and Elizabeth McIntyre, 169 Pond Street in Osterville, map 118, parcel 036, built in 1932. It's a partial demolition to remove the second floor and reconstruct the second floor with attached two-car garage with living space above the garage. Materials for roof, siding, and windows will match what is existing. Excuse me. Motion one. I move that after review. Building 169 Pond Street, Osterville is a preferably preserved significant building. And I vote
need
will
a
impose
second.
18-month delay. And a nay vote will not impose an 18-month delay.
Okay, we need a second for the motion.
I will second that, but can I just ask Barbara very quickly, did you say McIntyre or McNamara?
McNamara.
McNamara, I misheard you, sorry, just wanted to make sure it was clear. I second that.
Okay. And I vote, as she said, will invoke the 18-month delay, and nay vote will not. So Marilyn Fifield,
Nay.
Cheryl Powell,
Nay.
Barbara DiBiase,
Nay.
Rob Frazee,
Nay.
and I also vote nay. Okay, second portion.
If motion one fails, a nay vote, I move that in accordance with section 112-3F, the Barnstable Historical Commission determines that the partial demolition of the building located at 169 Pond Street, Osterville is not detrimental to the historical, cultural, and architectural heritage or resources of the town.
I need a second.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Cheryl, okay, now this is an I vote determines that the partial demolition is not detrimental and no demolition delay is imposed. Marilyn Fifield,
Aye.
Cheryl Powell,
Aye.
Barbara DiBiase,
Aye.
Rob Frazee,
Aye.
and I also vote aye. You will be allowed to proceed with this, Mr. McNamara.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate your time.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Same to
Same to
you.
you.
Okay, CPC, Community Preservation Committee update. Marilyn?
Oh, like last time, our meeting would have been yesterday, but it was canceled because we had no applicants for the agenda. So I have no
Oh,
report.
boy. That makes it simple.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Before we do the discussion, I'm going to step in. Nancy's not here. We're still asking about the things that were saved in 200 Main Street.
Yes, I know that Elizabeth has been pairing with Kate. Elizabeth was on, so I don't know if something came up, and like I said, she did not. Couldn't get in touch with her about the Cape Cod Commission thing. So I'm hoping that she has an update for you. I'll ask her to send out an email to you guys with a small update.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Upcoming historical events open to the public. Well, no hands raised on that one. Okay.
How about Christmas?
Christmas should
How about-
qualify, shouldn't it?
How about Christmas?
Okay. Approval of the November 21st meeting minutes. Marilyn, did you get a chance to study them?
Yes, my name is at the end. Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Cheryl can't vote on it.
I won't vote, so therefore it would be Bob. Because I wasn't
Sorry?
here. I said I can't vote because I wasn't here, so I
Precisely. That's
abstained,
what
and
I was.
Bob. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
that's
have
what I was
exactly
saying.
the same problem that for the November meeting, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, Barbara and Marilyn and I, we were here. So,
You need
Marilyn,
4 now. You need 4, do you not?
no, I don't
Uh,
think so.
Erica, do you not need 4?
I think you still will need quorum for the minutes.
And
I
which we,
suggest continuing the minutes and
Continue
then,
them.
yeah,
is that what you want to do? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm willing.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
So I
sorry,
just
I
need
was
a
not,
motion for that to continue and a roll call vote, please.
Okay, so, I move we
Point of
continue
order.
that.
Point of order, I don't think you can do a motion even to continue them, but I think the chair has the power to actually continue them on her own because you don't have a quorum in order to vote on it.
Thank you, Cheryl. That's perfect.
I finally get to take the
It's
words out of
being
your mouth. How
quorumed,
about that?
No, I
and-
appreciate it, Cheryl. Thank you.
Our next meeting is January 16th in the new year. So I wish everybody happy holidays, happy
Can
new
we have
year.
matters not reasonably anticipated very quickly?
So far as I know, there are none.
I have one, if you don't mind, just a quickie. Bob, I think I saw you at the wind meeting.
yes, thank you.
Yes.
I saw
So,
you there too. Good for
Bob
you.
and I both attended the wind meeting on behalf of the Barnstable Historical Commission. And I have asked for the documentation, as Bob probably heard, to be given to everyone from the second and Bob, you're not aware of this, but we didn't really get to go to the second and third meeting. So I have requested that information. I have also requested information on the, remind me, there's two other things. Information on the actual station, because there didn't seem to be any plans for that. I think they're still in the process of making those. Correct me if I'm wrong, Bob, but anything I did.
That's my impression as well.
I also asked if, because it's supposed to involve historical, and a lot of this is within view of the old Kings Highway Commission, that they consider even at the last minute bringing them in. And with all of that, I suggested that we have at least one more meeting to include all those parties and be up to date on the paperwork. So that's where I am with it. That's what I proposed. Correct me if I missed anything, Bob.
No, I think you got it right on the button, and incorporating or including Old Kings Highway is certainly appropriate. The comment that I made to
Absolutely.
them, or question I raised, and Cheryl would know this because our initiative somewhat dovetailed, was that I've heard from several Northside residents, they're concerned about the visibility of the substation, particularly at night, depending on how it's illuminated. My question was more about the illumination than about the physicality of it,
Yeah.
but either thing could have a bearing on how visible it is from Old Kings Highway, from Barnstable Harbor, or from Sandy Neck, or from Cape Cod Bay. And those things matter. They're public ways technically, and they fall in the purview for Section 106 review and consideration. So I think they heard that.
I think they did. The other thing that
helps.
came up was the tribal representatives.
Yeah.
Because I asked for what artifacts have been found because they want a clearing of some of the tribal lands. And I know they're concerned about that, but from my understanding, there wasn't a whole lot that was found. There were some bits and pieces that they called referred to as projectiles. But correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think that's what it was referred to, but it didn't seem that it was substantial. So
It was very few flakes, actually, rather than
Yeah.
entire projectiles, and no full whole tools.
Yeah.
I read
Just the
that.
flakes.
Actually, that was one of the few written reports I read before the meeting. I didn't have time to get through the entire ream of stuff, but
Mm.
the one that was the result of the public archaeology labs reviews from their test pits on the site seemed to be pretty minimal. And I don't disagree with their conclusions. I thought that sounded reasonable.
I thought
But
it did too.
I'm not a tribe member, and I don't presume to, have any value system that even approaches theirs. I don't want to try to speak for them, but that was just my personal impression.
No, and I agree. It's just, I'm not a tribal person either, or the wrong tribe anyway, but a different tribe. But I respect their tribal lands
Exactly.
as being part of the historical nature, and it comes under historical to, for them as well. But anyway, so it was on the structure of the substation and the lighting, and how much that was going to impact, and the fact that a lot of that lighting, we don't know what the structure is going to look like. And when we like we had tonight applicants on what's the structure of this and what's the structure of that, if we don't know what it is, then how do we know what we feel about it? And also that Old Kings Highway, since it's visible from there, that and that's a town decision. That's not our decision. It was a recommendation that they be included even at this last minute. A lot of these were recommendations really, and suggestions and requests.
Excellent. Thank you. That's a very good report. And I'm sorry it didn't make it on the agenda. And of course, we didn't know you'd be able to come, but thank you both for all of your work attending and reading through all of that material, because they are very good at generating lots of print material.
Oh my.
And I appreciate your work on that. And I do thankful for the report. Okay, now, anything else that I haven't planned for? Okay, let's move along, and I would like to move that we adjourn.
I'll second that.
I didn't think I'd have trouble getting a second for that one. Okay. All those.
Sorry
in
I was
favor?
late, but I
Okay.
had to wait. Okay. Good evening,
Okay.
everybody.
Cheryl, you vote for.
Oh, I have to vote. I'm sorry. Yes, I do vote for it.
Okay, let's get out of.
Okay,
the
then you can
fast.
go. Marilyn,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Barbara,
Yes.
and I certainly vote aye. Thank you so much, everybody.